everyone.
We are from
Three Musketeers.
My name is Alisa Elena Betia Zahra.
I am Iman Fatina binti Syamsu Anwar.
My name is Vidyasri Subramaniam.
We will be presenting case for about Axiata Group Berhad and Sime Darby Plantation Berhad. The table of content of this case study is, first of all, is our team, introduction, impact of COVID-19, then followed by business strategy, tax elements, last but not least is the obligations, comparisons, and the conclusion.
Introduction of Axiata Group Berhad. I will briefly introduce what Axiata Group Berhad is all about. Axiata was established in Malaysia in 1992 as a private limited company formerly known as Telekom Malaysia International (TMI). Afterwards, TMI decided to change its name to Axiata Group Berhad. The purpose was to launch a brand new identity to strengthen their position. Currently, it is Asian leading telecom service provider with 290 million subscribers that operates in 10 countries across Southeast Asia and South Asia. The company offers a diverse portfolio including mobile network operation, communication infrastructure services, and digital services. Axiata Group evolution in line with its mission of advancing Asia is to continue being shaped by unprecedented demand for data and converged services, fintech solution, and enterprise digitalization. Now, I'll present the impact of COVID-19 towards Axiata Group Berhad. There are three impacts which consist of supply chain disruption, new usage pattern, and intense competition. That will be further discussed in the next slide. The first impact of COVID-19 towards Axiata Group Berhad is supply chain disruption. Most of the telecom industry, including Axiata Group Berhad, rely heavily on China as a global manufacturing hub. Although factories and businesses in China are progressively resuming operation as we are in the recovering phase, there will be delays in delivery of network equipment. Delivery of network equipment could be lengthy as it could take months to reach. As a result, it will put a drag on Axiata activity, specifically in production, and there will be a shortage of supply. The second impact of COVID-19 pandemic towards Axiata Group Berhad is the new usage pattern by consumer. The reason being most people are staying home and rely on home internet and cell phone to study and work. Therefore, there has been a change in the usage by consumer as they use mobile devices and network primarily for digital access. It has resulted in Axiata needing to step up their game in order to satisfy their consumer and to compete against intense competitors. The last impact of COVID-19 pandemic towards Axiata Group Berhad is intense competition against the telco companies. The possibility of stiff competition amongst the three biggest cellular service provider as they protect their subscriber base and scrutinize near-term growth prospect to lead us to maintain our underweight stand on the telco sector. Price war against telcos as they compete to maintain their market share of the increasingly price-conscious consumer resulted in a limited incremental revenue for the telcos despite rising operational costs.
There are few business strategies and action plans Axiata Group Berhad should adapt during the COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 has disrupted supply chains around the world. So, the first strategy is to improve supply chain management strategy. The second strategy is internal initiatives. Last but not least is to improve the network in line. As for the first strategy, Axiata Group Berhad should improve supply chain management strategy. Axiata Group Berhad should focus on developing new relationships outside of China as one of its supply chain management strategies. As a result, Axiata Procurement Center will monitor vendor performance and continuously develop new relationships to manage potential supply chain disruptions. They should also develop detailed business continuity management plans to address supply chain risks, disruptions, and the business recovery strategy, which should be based on multiple crisis simulation scenarios. By taking the right actions, supply chain leaders can turn massive complexity and supply chain disruptions into meaningful change. Moving on to the second strategy, Axiata Group Berhad should have internal initiative with OP costs to collaborate in order to have a better adjustment in demand shifts. This unified design and planning approach among OP costs has enabled Axiata Group to support a 40% increase in network traffic in 2021. Next, Axiata Group Berhad should have completed the ongoing sunsetting of 3G network in order to prepare for 4G and 5G spectrum efficiency. As a result, Celcom and Smart made significant advances in 2021, sunsetting approximately 4,000 sites or 55% of our legacy networks compared to the previous year. The final strategy is to complete 3 successful Open RAN commercial pilots in order to better serve the region's rising connectivity needs. By performing this, Axiata Group Berhad has formed strategic partnership with leading global network solutions providers, namely Mariner and Parallel Wireless, and Infosys as systems integrator to successfully conduct Open RAN commercial field pilots in Malaysia, Indonesia, and Sri Lanka. Last but not least, Axiata Group Berhad should improve the network with new demands. Axiata Group Berhad can propose a joint acquisition of LinkNet with XL. By doing so, this can drive future growth by leveraging on synergies between LinkNet and XL through their combined positions in wireless communication services, sharing backbone and transmission networks, and extensive customer base. They can also well positioned to capitalize on the growing enterprise market and increase exposure to high average revenue per user customers as well as the fast growing fixed broadband market. This can help to avoid business losses caused by intense competition among competitors. They can also harness group synergies and leverage regional presence to strengthen the value proposition of Axiata's digital telecom and digital businesses. By aligning the group's network transformation program and future network strategy with sectoral technological advancements, particularly on 5G technology, Axiata Berhad can protect their subscriber base.
Based on the graph 1, the tax expense of Axiata Group Berhad has steeply decreased from 962 million in 2019 to 545 million in 2020. However, in 2021, the tax expense has significantly increased back from 2020 to 895 million. The tax elements of Axiata Group Berhad include the current taxation and deferred taxation. There are also tax effects on the income not subject to tax, share of results of associates, share of results of joint ventures, charged in statutory tax rate, approved tax rate of a subsidiary, different tax rate in other countries, utilization of previously unrecognized deferred tax assets, unrecognized deferred tax assets, expenses not deductible for tax purposes, and prior financial year income tax. To relate it with the pre-COVID and post-COVID pandemic, there is no significant difference in terms of the tax elements of the company. According to the annual report of Axiata Group Berhad, the tax rate remains at 24% throughout the year 2019, 2020 and 2021. Although the government has also given a wide range of incentives available for certain industries, Axiata Group Berhad, which is a telecommunication company, is not given any incentive. Hence, the declining tax expense of Axiata Group Berhad in 2020 is due to the declining profit of the company due to the impact of the pandemic. As the company recovers from the impact of the COVID-19, the profit of the company increases back, which aligns with the increasing tax expense.
The second company that we choose is Darby Plantation. Therefore, I will briefly introduce what Darby is all about. Darby is a Malaysian conglomerate with operation in plantation, commercial vehicles, real estate, and energy. Darby is a multinational corporation with a diverse workforce of over 100,000 and operates in 23 countries. Its plantation division produced 2.47 million tons, or 5% of the world's total annual production of crude palm oil, making it the largest palm oil producer in the world. Darby Berhad is a holding company for investment that operate in trading, healthcare, and logistic industry. The impact of COVID-19 towards Darby Plantation. There are three impacts, which consists of shortage of workers, high price of fresh palm oil, and high freight rate that I will be further discussed in the next slide. The first impact of COVID-19 pandemic towards Darby Plantation is shortage of worker. Most all palm industry, including Darby, depends heavily on the foreign workers, especially harvesting job. The emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic since early 2020 has been a game changer for this sector, where Malaysia closed its border and temporarily suspended new work permit for foreign workers. According to the managing director at Darby Plantation, state that there was a shortage of more than 5,000 workers. As a result, it could potentially reach up to 20 to 30% decline in productivity. The second impact of COVID-19 pandemic towards Darby Plantation is high price of crude palm oil (CPO). The significant decline in production has resulted in a significantly reduced stockpile, limited consumer to buy, and ultimately pushing the price of CPO to an all-time high, peaking several times in 2021. This may trigger price-sensitive buyers to switch from palm oil to other vegetable oil due to the price spread. The last impact of COVID-19 pandemic towards Darby Plantation is high freight rate. The increase in demand was greater than expected and was not met by an adequate supply of shipping capacity. Usually, company must book container at least 1 month in advance of the shipping date, which is much earlier than the standard practice of 1 week in advance prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. The advanced booking has created the high demand and push higher rates.
There are a few business strategies and action plans for Darby Plantation during the COVID-19 pandemic. The strategies are to attract and hire local, improve product and service, and finally, have frequent communication with the liners. The first strategy is attracting and hiring locals to support the plantation operation, especially in Malaysia. This happened due to the severe labor shortage due to border closures to contain global pandemic. This definitely impacted productivity and performance of Sime Darby oils. One of their action plan was Sime Darby Plantation participated in the calibration of foreign workers in Sabah and Sarawak. They automate and mechanize their operations to reduce dependence on manual labor. As a result, Sime Darby Plantation hired a total of 3,010 locals in Malaysia up to 31st December 2021. Moreover, more activities are being mechanized using new machines. Sime Darby also achieved the expected man-to-land ratio, which is 1:15.3 as of the end financial year of 2021. The second strategy is to improve the quality of products and services. Sime Darby's product and service offering can be improved by expanding and differentiating existing products. The group has taken steps to reduce its exposure to the risk of high crude palm oil prices by using derivative instruments to hedge against the risk of adverse price fluctuations. The group has a natural hedge against price volatility as an integrated player. The third strategy is having frequent communication with liners. Maritime trades are less expensive than rail, road, or air freight and require less maintenance. Sime Darby should maintain frequent communications with liners to ensure vessel availability and close monitoring of freight rates to ensure the price of freight remains constant. Sime Darby plantation can avoid disruptions in business operation by doing so. Furthermore, they should implement a shipment management solution to digitize the shipment process and reduce manual intervention gaps in order to maximize process efficiency. They will avoid increasing operating costs by doing so.
Based on Graph 2, the tax expense of Sime Darby Plantation Berhad has significantly increased from 465 million in 2020 to 1 billion in 2021. Taxation comprises current and deferred tax. The current income tax charge is the expected income taxes payable in respect of the taxable profit for the financial year and is measured using the applicable tax rates. Management periodically evaluates position taken in tax returns with respect to situation in which applicable tax regulation is subject to interpretation. Provisions are established where appropriate on the basis of amount expected to be paid to the tax authorities. Deferred tax is recognized on temporary difference arising between the tax basis of assets and liabilities and their carrying amount in the financial statement, including those arising from business combinations. To relate it with the COVID-19 pandemic, pre-COVID and post-COVID, the effective tax rates of Sime Darby Plantation Berhad in 2019, 2020 and 2021 are negative 33.4%, 25.5% and 30.8% respectively. In 2019, the tax income included recognition of deferred tax assets arising from losses suffered by the holding company on disposal of its subsidiary and the increase in the real property gains tax rate in Malaysia. In 2020, the effective tax rates of Sime Darby Plantation Berhad has increased from 2019 mainly due to the higher profit before tax and a reversal of deferred tax asset as a result of changes in the corporate tax rates in Indonesia during the year. In 2021, effective tax rate is higher than the average tax rate of the group, mainly due to withholding tax payable by the group on dividends remitted from foreign subsidiaries and recognition of deferred tax liabilities on the taxable temporary difference on investment in the subsidiaries being classified as non-current assets held for sale. Also, the higher effective tax rate was partially mitigated by the gain on the government acquisition of land of Rm 27.1 million, which was not subject to tax and change in statutory income tax rate in Indonesia from 25% to 22% for 2020 and 2021. There are no tax incentives given to Sime Darby Plantation Berhad by the government except in 2020 of the total amount Rm 4.8 million. Hence, there is not much difference to the tax elements of Sime Darby Plantation due to the tax policy of the government pre-COVID and post-COVID pandemic. Next, I will talk about the obligation of paying taxes from perspective of the tax ethics. Tax ethics, which is the term for the taxpayer's moral duty to pay taxes, is influenced by their relationship with the government as citizens. The first purpose of paying taxes is to enable governments to meet the demands of the citizens. In simpler terms, it is for the sake of the citizens. The money that is being collected by the government will be used to encourage economic growth and development and to fulfill the common goal of a prosperous and functional society. Second one is paying taxes is regarded as civic obligation and it is required by law. The government body in charge of overseeing taxes will order people to pay their taxes if they do not, or else they risk penalties like fines or jail time. The tax money supports public services like police and firefighters in addition to supporting the wages of government employees. The third one is paying taxes in a business boosts investor confidence. If an investor is interested in investing in a company, they will review the financial and tax records. The figures for taxes paid give them the confidence that they know how to do business and that investing in the company will benefit them. Having accurate, truthful, and up-to-date financial records always help to boost the investors' confidence in the company. As we can see here, in 2020, both Axiata Group Berhad and Sime Darby Plantation Berhad had lower tax expenses due to COVID-19 pandemic, which have impacted their profit. In 2021, their tax expenses has significantly increased. In conclusion, COVID-19 pandemic has affected both companies in many aspects. The companies should take immediate measures to manage business adversities and challenges arising from the impact of the pandemic to ensure the business will not severely impacted by the pandemic in a negative way. Thank you.